So for this webinar, I will just want to share a little bit on about the MQF second edition 2024. Okay, so this the newer edition of the MQF was mandated to us on the 1st of August 2024. That in that letter, it was mentioned there are a bit of pengukuhan. It says that pengukuhan or what we call that. They keep on saying that they're re-emphasizing on the few elements in the education. So the first one would be the value-based education, VBE, and then the second one would be flexible learning pathways, and the third one, global sustainability agenda. And the last one is about harmonization of MQF with other sectoral occupational framework. So as we can see here, harmonization of MQF is their business, which is not our things to address. But there are three. The first three is directly related to us. All right. So this is the document that we got, something like the bluish here. So Malaysian Qualification Framework, MQF second edition 2024. So we are going to refer this one for now on, and then this says here, pemakaian terhadap dokumen ini akan dilaksanakan dalam tempoh transisi 2 tahun daripada tarikh perkeliling ini dengan mengambil kira penyesuaian penjajaran dan pembangunan dokumen jaminan kualiti berkaitan. Okay. So it says pematuhan dokumen jaminan kualiti yang telah dijajarkan MQF edisi kedua 2024 adalah tertaluk kepada tarikh pemakaian dokumen tersebut. So meaning to say 2024 plus 2 years. So we're going to expect that MQF will start looking at our programs in 2026. Okay, so what is said in the document in the MQF second edition 2024 or simply MQF 2024? So it is still second edition, but it only it has a little bit of refining and re-emphasizing of different things there. Okay, so it says here, MQF 2024 maintains the structure of the framework established in the previous edition of MQF. Since the review in 2017, additional changes have been observed in the global higher education landscape. So these changes are driven by the rapid globalization of education, the rising demand of lifelong learning, and the proliferation of digital and remote learning technologies, and the growing collective realization that the framework must be more value-based. Okay, so it says the previous framework is probably considered not value-based enough, and integrate the global sustainability agenda, GSA. So trying to say is that they are more emphasizing on the value-based and also the global sustainability agenda in the MQF. So it means here that the value-based and also the global sustainability agenda will be something need to be complied in our academic program. Okay, so this is how it depicted by the MQA personnel, that how the MQF 2024 was formulated. So there are few things that affecting from 2017 into 2024. So it's from the SDG 2017, the 11 Malaysia planning, and then we have the AQRF 2016, and then we have the fourth industrial revolution, and then we have this related to VBE and ESD actually, and then we have the COVID-19, and then we have this FLP. So FLP is the flexible learning pathway, right? So this is how the reason why the MQF 2024 is being formulated. Okay, so we see the overview. What the main content or main changes happen in the MQF 2000 the second edition 2024. So we have here actually as we know MQF, we have the level of qualification. Yes, that one we know there's no changes in this one, but we have these learning outcomes. So we still have the learning outcomes cluster, the LOCs. It is still maintained. That's become the main learning outcomes or the main feature of the MQF. But they said that they are re-emphasizing on what they call it, renew emphasize on VBE, the value-based education, and also the GSA. And then we have the credit system. So we have the more flexible learning pathway and what we call that FLP. Then we have the sector here, and they still maintain the same thing. So it has a lot on the learning outcome itself here, and also a bit on this flexible learning pathway. So as we see in the previous slides, that we have 4 things that have already been changed, but there are only 3 that related to our case, which is the HEP or the higher education provider. Right, so what is VBE? So just want to explain here again. We have VBE, but it is considered not enough. So they are re-emphasizing here. So a VBE is educational approach that focuses on instilling moral and ethical values. So this is more on humanistic, societal, and communal in the learners that enhance their industry skill. So these words are not made by me. So these words are taken from the document MQF second edition 2024. All right. So the second thing here, VBE is the MQF with the emphasis of national education philosophy. So this being inserted in the new MQF, although we actually know that our MQF is already aligned with the national education philosophy, but because it is an act that we need to comply with it, Education Act 550. So we are basing our education on national education philosophy. So based on that NEP, we call that NEP, but actually in the Act this says different thing a little bit. So we just use this term national education philosophy, okay, NEP. It says that it is an holistic individual developing unity in the diverse Malaysian community. And then it is said here, the VBE is supposed to restoring. Okay, it's not the word that I choose or I agree with. So it says that restoring emphasis on values will lead to truly holistic and balanced graduates, as envisaged in the national education philosophy. So in other words, our VBE is basing on our understanding on our competency or something that being emphasized in the national education philosophy. Okay, so that is VBE. So let us look what NEP actually. So national education philosophy is stated in the Education Act 550. It says here, education in Malaysia is ongoing efforts towards further developing the potential of individual in a holistic and integrated manner, so as to produce individuals who are intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically balanced and harmonious, based on a firm belief in and devotion to God. So it's already a very heavy, uh, heavy statement here. So in our education in Malaysia, we need to produce individuals that are holistically and integrated in terms of intellectual, spiritual, emotionally, physical, balanced, and harmonious. Okay, so it has to be holistic and integrated and harmonious and balanced, and a firm belief in and devotion to God. So this is very heavy for us for education there. So we need to produce that people. So our graduate may have to have these attributes or have this kind of profile. Okay, so that the first sentence, the second sentence, such an effort is designed to produce Malaysian citizens. Okay, now it's going to tell what are their competency. So our produce Malaysian citizens who are knowledgeable and competent first. Second one, possesses high moral standard. Second, the third, who are responsible and capable of achieving a high level of personal well-being. Okay, we have one, two, three, and the fourth one is and can contribute to the betterment of the family, the society, and the nation at large. So we have four main competency or the main characteristic of our graduate to be produced in our academic program. They need not only to be knowledgeable and competent, possesses high moral standard, responsible and capable of achieving a high level of personal well-being, and able to contribute to the society, nation, and also family. So that is NAP. Okay, so VBE in our context, in Malaysia context, and the MQF already stated that we have to be basing our VBE on the national education philosophy. Okay, that's it. That's the meaning here. That's the thing that we need to do. All right, and then we have the GSA. So the GSA here, it actually doesn't mean that we are going to teach GSA per se. So we have to understand here what is meant by MQF on GSA, which is referring to Global Sustainability Agenda. So in the document, it defined that sustainability is about maintaining a balance between development and the environment. I think everybody quite can understand that. All right. So second thing is, this is what being said in the MQF or mandated to us. It says that HEP means higher education providers should take cognizance of the GSA at the curriculum level. So here it is said here, curriculum level. It's not said in term of VBE, but for GSA, it is said that it has to be at the curriculum level, be it learner development, academic planning, programs, courses, learning outcome, teaching and learning, and assessment activities. So it is like a ruling here that all academic programs have to have the GSA agendas to be taught in the curriculum level. So says that HEP may adopt different models for achieving the GSA so long these models are embedded, integrated, or so any of these infused into the learning outcomes and are achieved and monitored. So I haven't probably I didn't emphasize on the monitored. So it says that this imply that we have to design our curriculum that align with GSA by any form of models, is either embedding or integrating or infusing in the learning outcomes. And we have to make sure all these GSA are achieved, okay? And it should be monitored, meaning when you are monitoring these things, meaning to say that you are assessing it and reporting the extent of achievement, not only for the students, also for the program. Okay, so there's a different, for me, there are different emphasis here. For the VBE, it doesn't really spell out to what level, okay? But for GSA, it really spell out or really emphasize that this is almost twice or three times. It says that GSA need to be in the curriculum level. So it says here again, okay, HCP are recommended to include the GSA at all MQF levels in their graduate profiles. Okay, so when we're talking about graduate profile, probably this is related to our PEO and or. So it doesn't have to be everything, but it's either and or any of the learning outcome domains. Okay, mana-mana lah, we have our learning outcome domains, the 11 one, or learning content and all assessment to produce graduate with balanced and holistic academic and social skill. So there are many times the sentence here, it seems that the NEP, the National Education Philosophy, have to be checked or have to be measured some sort on the PEO level, but we try to avoid that one. Okay, so I'm also trying to understand that. I'm trying to convey my understanding here about GSA. So GSA, what I understand is that serve as an overarching framework that promotes international cooperation to achieve sustainability in various areas, economic, social, and environmental. So this one will probably involve all the country in the UNESCO. Okay, so we're not teaching about them. We're not going to teach about this agenda. All right, but we have another thing. The GSA, I think one of the agenda is about SDG, which is Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17 specific goals, and actually the SDG at the core of the GSA. So we want to measure all of these goals, 17 goals. So in other way to say it, since MQF says that GSA need to be in our curriculum, in other words, SDG has to be integrated in our curriculum as well. And not only that, for SDG to be achieved, GSA think that when we have all these things, we have all of this. So any one of these, 1, 2, 3 until to 17, any of these goals have to be part of our curriculum. All right, so this is SDG. I think we already know this. All right, so every program have to be addressing any of these 17 SDG. All right, but GSA think also in order to achieve this SDG, our education have to have this education for sustainability, sustainable development, ASD, competency. So in other words, we have to embed two things here, SDG and also ESD in our program curriculum. All right. So I hope you can get that. Okay. Since that thing SDG and also ESD is mentioned as part of GSA and GSA is part with our MQF, meaning to say we have to put this thing in our curriculum. All right. Then the third one, which is flexible learning pathway. So as we understand that FLP refer to flexible entry, progression, and completion of higher education at all ages and educational level, as well as recognition, validation, and accreditation of knowledge, skill, and competency acquired through different things, which is non-formal, informal, and formal education. So this one probably not really directly in our curriculum, but it is at the university policy or at the university guideline. So this is not going to really impacting our curriculum content. Okay. Okay. So we look a bit on how the changes impacting on the curriculum in terms of the level of descriptors. So the level of descriptors, this thing is taken from the last part of the MQF document. So this is at undergrad or at bachelor level. So at the bachelor level, the learner's profile looks like this. Learners will demonstrate all of this thing. So this part is not really changed. But the second statement here demonstrates professionalism, reliance, commitment to an ethical work culture. Then they insert one phrase there, sustainability issue. And then they put another part here, an awareness of global citizenship in alignment with national aspiration. So it's already me indicating that our learner profiles at undergrad level, they should have this kind of profile. Based on the LOC, the learning outcome clusters, so this statement still maintain there's not much of difference, as well as cognitive skills doesn't have any kind of changes happen there. And in the practical skill as well, there's no changes, but in term of here in the interpersonal skill, probably they have a little bit of changes there. Work together with different people, all right? And then we have the communication skill, doesn't change much in our level of descriptors. Digital skill and numeracy still the same, but a bit of different in the leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. C3F, it says that autonomously and show leadership, autonomy, making capabilities, and professionalism, accountability. So this a little bit of refining on the descriptors of student at bachelor level. And then we have personal skills, C4A, self-directed lifelong learning. So this is related to flexible learning as well. And then it add on demonstrate flexibility and adaptability to change in an industry. Then it add on demonstrate an appreciation of broader social, political, economic, and cultural issue at local, national, and regional level. So it seems that they have already changed a bit and here and there in the level descriptors. In ethics and professionalism, C5. So emphasize here, and then it add on environmental issues here. So they are serious in terms of this thing. So actually, when we have this thing in the level of descriptors, therefore, MQA are looking on our program, how close or how to what extent our program is aligned with this level of descriptors. So there, if that says that environmental issue, meaning to say our curriculum have to put anything related to environmental issue and being measured. Okay, so that is about a little bit on the descriptors. Now we're going to see what is the VBE competencies or VBE outcomes. All right, so in terms of VBE, value-based education competencies, since looking at the document and also looking at how we were explained in a Bengkel or in a workshop recently with the MQA personnel. So we are basing our VBE competency aligned with the NEP, the National Education Philosophy. So I'm not going to track the first one in the NEP. NEP, the first competency related to NEP was directly related to, it's not VBE. Okay, so only the three first, and the three competency in NEP is related to VBE. The first one is possesses high moral standard. So we're going to, for each, I think what I mean here, our program have to see what learning outcome going to align with this possesses high moral standard. So it may include uphold ethical values, integrity, and social responsibility in their personal and professional conduct, fostering a just and principled society. So that is being said here. You can a little bit change whatever your program can understand. So that is the possesses the high moral standard. So you need to identify where this high moral standard is being taught, being delivered, being trained to the student, and how it being assessed. Then we have the second one, responsible and capable of achieving high-level personal well-being. So this is more related to flexible learning as well. Okay, so it says possesses self-discipline, adaptability, emotional resilience in achieving personal fulfillment and contribute positively to their environment. So this is second competency. So you need to find, or we need to identify our learning outcome that are related to this part, so responsible and capable of achieving high level personal well-being. So this is something that defines this part of competency in NEP. And the last one will be contribute to the betterment of family, society, and the nation. So students should be able to do this, engage in community actively, okay, demonstrating leadership, collaboration, and commitment to national progresses and global citizenship. So you need to look at our courses in the program, which course or which CLO is actually contributing or going to support students in terms of developing the competency that will enable them to contribute betterment of family, society, and the nation. So that is about VBE. Okay, so later on I will show you the metrics. So that is VBE. Quite brief, but EST a bit, it looks like something foreign, but it's actually not that foreign. Okay, so ESD, education for sustainability, sustainable development. So you can refer to this book provided by UNESCO, Education for Sustainable Development Guidance. So here it will explain what the competency all about. And then they also provide sample or example of learning outcomes that related to the competency. So it says here, ESD aims to developing competency that empower individual to reflect on their own action, taking into account their current and future social, cultural, economic, and environmental impacts from a local and global perspective. And this is one is UNESCO 2017. Right, so that is the we are going to base on our ESD. Okay, so what sorry, a little bit of this man, there's a bit of that. Sorry, this is something supposed to be the competency. Okay, let me change that. Never mind. I think you will know it. Okay, there are three groups of competency in ESD. In ESD, the first one is way of thinking. Okay. The second one will be the ways of practicing, and the third one ways of being. So if you really read this and then try to relate it, way of thinking is thinking. That's the main keyword. The second one is practicing, and then the third one is being. Okay. So ways of thinking, we have system thinking, anticipatory or future thinking. We have critical thinking, something that we know already. And then in way of practicing, we have strategic, collaboration, and integrated problem solving, self-awareness, and normative for way of being. Okay, so if we look at this, it's already aligned with our MQF LOC. So we just not have to identify which one is system thinking, which one is future thinking, which one is critical thinking, and so on. So let's see what are the competencies about. The first one is system thinking. So here students able to recognize and understand causes and effect in complex system. So that is the first competency. So this one, system thinking, is not mentioned in any of the cognitive skill, even in the MQF. So this is quite new in terms of terms, but I am sure most of us are actually teaching our students about complex system. Okay, so this is system thinking. So we need to train the students to be able to recognize and understanding causes, effect in complex systems. So we have a few sample learning outcomes. So I don't want to show it here. So I will go straight to the book. Then we have anticipatory. So this is ability that understand and meaningfully contribute towards current and future challenges. So here students have to be able to identify what are the current problem or challenges, and then he or she can actually anticipate what will happen in future if we do this, and what will happen in future if we don't do this. So this is anticipatory thinking or future thinking. All right. And then we have the third one, critical thinking. It's just about abilities to derive meaning from information. So we already teach these students about how to synthesize, how to analyze things, how to criticize, and a lot of things we already taught them in the critical thinking. So as we can see here, this is all related to thinking and thinking and thinking. So 1, 2, 3 is thinking. Okay. So if you hear that, actually you already know, oh, this is actually aligned with our second LOC, which is C2, cognitive skill. So any courses that actually aligning with LOC, C2, now you can see, since there is no system thinking is mentioned in the program, then you have to modify your CLO letter, or you just refine that CLO and then also the assessment. All right, that's the first three, and then the next one is strategic. So abilities to identify, evaluate the obstacles to change and leverage driving in achieving positive outcome. So this one strategic. If you read that the document, strategic is under work skill. So this is strategic actually related to practical skill, which is CB1, I think. Yeah. Okay, strategic is about practical skill. And then the second one, in terms of ways of practicing, is collaborative, abilities to communicate effectively, blah, 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 everything. This is something that you already know quite well in the one of the LOC, collaborative. So this is related to communication. Nothing really different. And then integrated problem solving. So it's just putting the problem solving a little bit higher here, abilities to integrating knowledge and research methods from other disciplines. So we need to teach students now how to use knowledge or any research method from different disciplines. For example, probably one program is already really in quantitative, then they need to use some knowledge and research method in the social science, in the social sciences program. Okay, so this is about integrated problem solving. It's just about problem solving, still the same thing, but it is just putting more into interdiscipline here. All right, so that's number 6. And then we have the last 2, which is related to ways of being, how to behave. So students have to know how to recognize how their emotion, motivation, and personality impact on their action and behaviors. This is about self-awareness. So we need to see which CLO in our program are actually looking at self-awareness. If not, then we have to identify which course is suitable for addressing self-awareness. And then normative. Normative is ability to understand and reflect on the norms and values that underpin their own action and those other stakeholders. So here is about looking at the students' own moral value or value on the norm on their aspect and trying to understand other moral values of others. So that is normative. Trying to understand our own values and also how to understand others and respect others' values. So that is ESD competency. Okay, so that is the first thing that we understand. So we have VBA, we have ESD, we know all these competencies, right? So we just want to refine it into the MQF second edition 2024. Then we need to see here how we could probably map between the LOCs with VBA and also ESD. Yeah, so the first one, the VBA-based education. So these are the NEP competency. So only 1, 2, 3 is considered as value-based. The first one is knowledgeable and competent. It's not value-based. Okay. So knowledgeable and competent, it will map with knowledge and understanding, cognitive skill, practical skill, digital skill, and numeracy skill. So that is competent, knowledgeable and competent. While possesses high moral standard, I think it will connect with C3F and also C5. So try to identify where are these CLO in terms of possess higher moral standard. And then responsible and capable achieving a high level of personal well-being. And there are satu saja di sini, personal skill. Okay, so look for courses and CLO that align with personal skill, and see whether this is actually trying to train our students to be responsible and capable in achieving their own personal well-being. And then the last VBE here, contribute to betterment of family, society, and nation. So here it will map to interpersonal skill, communication skill, and entrepreneurial skill. So I will consider that trying to contribute to the nation through entrepreneurial skill. But you can argue with me if you don't want, it's okay. But at least the personal skill and communication skill will map to contribute to the betterment of family, society, and nation. Okay, so that is about NAP. So this one would be the no, this is not NAP competency. Sorry, this is mistake. This is about ESD. Okay, so the ESD competency will consist of, we know that system thinking, anticipatory, critical thinking, strategic, collaborative, integrated problem solving, self-awareness, and normative. So the purple one will be the way of thinking, the yellow one will be the way of practicing, and the third one, the red one will be the way of being. So all of three, system thinking, anticipatory, and critical thinking, connect with cognitive skill. That is very obvious. Okay. And then we have strategic is all about practical skill. And then it's about integrated problem solving. And then we have collaborative, it connect with interpersonal skill and communication skill. Okay. And then we have self-awareness. This is connect with personal skill more about this one, but it also connect with leadership, autonomy, and responsibility. And the last one will be normative, here ethics and professionalism. So probably I just missed here numeracy skill. This one also probably will fall into system thinking. Digital skill probably will, I think I missed this one. These two is connect with digital skill will probably connect with collaborative and also probably system thinking probably. But I will look at this again. These two, digital skills and numeracy skill. But I think numeracy skill will connect with system thinking. Okay, looking for patterns. Right, so that about how we're going to map this. Any question?
Hi, Dr. Dennis.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Dr. Razali here, yeah, from FFAB.
Yep.
When I look at the NEP competencies, right?
Yeah.
We plotted here on the screen, knowledge and understanding is plotted to integrated problem solving.
Yeah.
But we do know that problem solving will be related to cognitive skills, right? Because of problem solving will be the applications of, for my course, basically, cognitive skills will be the applications of knowledge to, they applied the knowledge to solve the problem. So for my course, is it okay to have it under cognitive skills instead of knowledge and understanding?
I don't think there's a problem there.
Okay.
If that probably your CLO is connected to it is mapped to cognitive skill, there's no problem. We said that this is related to integrated problem solving.
So the ESD competencies is not fixed, yeah?
Not fixed. This is through my very rough analysis. So you can contest with me. You can point it out to me. I think there's no problem. I just put the.
I'm not here to contest. No. I'm just asking. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I think
because for my
we are
class,
checking to it with each other. So like numeracy skill is also related to system thinking. Digital skill is about here, the collaborate. Yeah, something like that. So
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
no
Thank you.
problem with that one.
Okay. So it's
Okay.
not. Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Dennis. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Any more question?
Good afternoon, Professor.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Bablu Ghosh from Faculty of Engineering.
Okay.
So the system thinking and the EDS, actually, how they related with the SDG? Actually, I could not see any SDG, Sustainable Development Goal elements in the LOC. It is actually something at general we have. Because I'm differ from the MQF because we are the ESC framework, but still we have the SDG to implement in our course. In that sense, I am trying to understand that how the LSC will be incorporated with the SDG framework to the relating to the ESD. How it should be related here in the system actually, the 17
okay,
component of the SDG.
All right. It came from here. This is SDGs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is highly interdisciplinary. So actually, some extent related to the societal aspect with the development aspect and also the engineering and development.
Yes. Okay.
So
I understand
in that sense, I am asking that problem. Yeah.
Okay. This is the content. This is about the goals. But DSA said things that in order for the SDG to be achieved, students have to have this competency, the ESD.
So in that sense, ESD how linked to the SDG? That is my question actually.
How?
ESD linked to the SDG in different frameworks.
Well, they are emphasizing the ESD as a crucial competency so that students will be able to later on to be able to achieve that SDG. So SDG is about content, what I see it, and then ESD is about the skills that students need to achieve this.
Yes.
That's how it connects. They're not much of it, they are not really related, but
yeah, that is actually very complex.
Not really related, but they see that this is competency that need to be achieved so that SDG can be achieved. And that's their
but if it is not specific to the particular course, then how the even lecturer or the student will learn this process actually.
Come again?
If it is not highly interrelated to the course or LOC,
which one? Which is not highly related?
With the specific agenda of the SDG, then how actually they can be understand and relate to the course. That is actually my second asking, because I'm not sure about how this particular topic will be incorporated in the particular course that students should learn from that course.
Which one, GSA or ESD?
I'm talking about the SDG, because SDG is the ultimate direction. ESD is the part of the education portfolio under SDG, is not it?
Okay. And then your
Then
question is
how the SDG framework will be reflected in the course to learn the student through this process of ESD.
you are questioning here how SDG is related to your course.
Yeah,
like,
that is.
Okay.
From SDG to the course, the intermediate is the ESD. Yeah.
I cannot answer you that because not all program will address every single of these SDG 1 to 17. So programs have to select whichever is related to the program.
Oh, I see.
I'm not imposing everything here
Yeah,
to
everything
be in
actually
your
not
program. No,
related to
no,
the
no, it cannot
every.
be.
Yeah, everything is not related to the every course. Even
Yes, it's not related to
someone
every
is
cost. For
actually.
example, affordable and clean energy, nothing to do with my my program.
Yeah,
So
because the criteria 3 is related truly to the health and the environment associated. Then the criteria 7 is truly related to the engineering and science activities, something like that. Yeah, but
yeah,
is
I didn't say that every single of these have to be achieved through our program, but any of it, the SDG can be included in our curriculum program curriculum. But the ESD is compulsory now. Everything the ed competencies, yeah, is the ed competency is considered to be embedded in our system, in our curriculum.
okay.
This is
Understand.
being said in there. SDG is not really mentioned in the MQF, but it's really mentioned on the ESD
Okay.
skills here.
Okay, I understand.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Here there's a question. Is it a must all CLOs in a course must be mapped to the NEP competency or ESD? No, it depends on, it really depends on your courses. Okay, so for example, here, for example, we want to look at possessors high moral standard. So at least 3 courses are addressing on possesses high moral standard. And then what else? For this one, not all courses. Okay? Not all courses and also not all of the assessment. It depends on you. It depends on the program. Okay? Any question? So this mapping is trying to help you, to help your program as well, how to map or how to identify which course that need to be refined into the ESD competency or the NEP competency. This mean need adding another course versus ESD mapping. Yeah, yes, you're right. So in our reporting letter, in our attainment, we have this. In this, we have cost and PLO mapping, one, and then we have the cost ESD mapping, and then we have cost NEP mapping. And we have to report to or you have to show that we are measuring those competencies. Because it says here that it says here this one. Models are embedded, integrated, infused into learning outcomes, into a learning outcome. That's not the problem. That's the challenge given to us and need to be achieved, meaning we have to monitor it. When we monitor it means you have to measure. When you have to measure, means you have to assess. If so, it means that need to add ESD component in each cell of courses. No. Tidaklah, mana ada. Ada course yang tidak ada kena mengena, we don't put it. We don't put. For example, here ESD, if the course is related to interpersonal skill and communication skill, then we can map it into collaborative. If it's not mapping to collaborative, then you have to adjust the CLO to the collaborative. Yes, Prof.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Dennis. Just a very quick question. Looking at this mapping, I'm just wondering for C1, knowledge and understanding, why do you think it should be mapped to integrated problem solving? Because I'm sorry, my understanding of integrated problem solving is basically high level, right? It is high order. So C1 is basically very basic fundamental. So if we were to map it to integrated problem solving, it means that it is actually much higher than C1. So I'm just wondering, what's your take on this?
Okay, I think this LOC, I think there's a bit of misconception. I'm not going to blame you. This is because of our own MOE misled us. MQA already said that knowledge and understanding here is meant it actually means that knowledge and understanding is about the program body of knowledge. Therefore, it can go up to creating level, evaluating level, analyzing level in taxonomy bloom. So that's why I tick integrated problem solving. So it can go higher than application level.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because this is my personal understanding when it comes to knowledge and understanding. But I think there's this misconception by a lot of us thinking that C1 is that so-called low
No.
level, basically
No.
just meant for first year courses, basic introductory courses. So I think this is something that, perhaps perhaps PPKA can also help to, create more awareness.
Yeah.
I believe many of us have this misunderstanding. My understanding is such that when it comes to knowledge and understanding, knowledge can be of various level, correct? And it can go all the way to the top. But somehow or other, there's this misconception or I would say misperception by some due to different views given and all those input coming in all this while some are very rigid, very rigid and dogmatic. So that's why I think there's a need for us to, especially your department, to create this awareness.
Okay. So I think another thing for UMS, we need to have our own DNA for our student for each of these criteria, for each of these learning outcome clusters actually. So for example, cognitive skills. So actually for UMS, we need to know what kind of cognitive skills that we want to our own student have. Probably different from other university. So yeah, actually there's a lot of work to be done actually.
Thank you very much. I totally agree with you, Dr. Dennis. Thanks.
Yeah, itulah ba. I know your confusion, but don't blame me alone. Here C1 is nothing to do with taxonomy. Inilah ba dalam pergi tukar-tukar kan, pergi suka-suka. Kita sudah lama sudah guna C1, C2, C3 itu semua for taxonomy. Orang pergi lagi tukar pakai itu C1, C2 untuk for learning cluster. So I'm sorry about that. Another question, not all competency are mapped to a course, right? But all competency must map to be mapped for program PLOs with a minimum of 3 competency. I think like this, all program have to have these competencies. Mesti ada mapping dia, at least 3 CLO mapping with these competency. For measurement set. Okay, this is what I said now, which MQF themselves never said anything about how to do this. The second thing is the MOHI never said anything about how to do this. So we're going to use our own practice now. 3 CLOs need to map any 3 CLO from any courses have to map to all of these competencies. I think I'm clear. Is it clear, Dr. Chi Pong Ting?
Dr. Dennis, coba ulang.
Ya,
Coba ulang apa? Entry apa?
kita punya praktis sekarang lah. We need to map any CLO from any CLO from any courses, map to all the competencies for each program. Jadi maksudnya kalau sistem thinking nih kita ada 3 CLO. So 3 kali 8 ada 24 CLO yang akan map to the competencies. Sini 3, sini 3, sini 3, sini 3, sini 3. Oke, boleh?
Oke.
Oke, ini Akila. Should we choose only one or choose only one kan for selected subject or apply to all subject in our program? Subjek itu maksudnya apa? Khusus kan? Kalau itu merujuk kepada khusus, should we choose only for selected subject? Yeah, only selected subject that really suitable. For example, yang personal skill ini bukan semua khusus tuh sesuai kan? Jadi kamu kena cari balik which course that is actually a map to personal skill and then look at it whether it map to self-awareness. Kalau tidak, meaning to say is either going to change that CLO or create another paksa any courses that going to map with self-awareness. Each competency must be mapped to at least 3 CLOs from any courses in program. Ya, betul. Untuk buat masa inilah yang kita mau ke arah MQF 2024 ini. Jadi kita buat begitu sahajalah, itu sih yang paling I think the most practical way to do. Kalau kamu mau, kamu tukar lah, kamu punya PEO. Kamu tukar PEO, kamu tukar kamu punya PLO. Kalau kamu rajin lah. Jadi, how you going to implement? There are few things that you can do lah here. This one first, formulating and endorsing the University Educational Goal UEG for UMS. Yang ini peringkat UMS lah. So PPK yang lead yang ini. So, untuk kamu, you going and look how you can refine the PO. If you want, you can, but you make sure you know how to measure it. And then refining the PLO, ini jangan pergi tukar semuanya, kamu pergi refine sahaja. Maksudnya kamu tambahlah sikit-sikit bunga-bunga di situ yang memberikan bau-bau some indication that we are aligned with NEP and also ESD or SDG. Alright? Then this is a must. You have to refine the CLO and course content. Yang ini perlu. This is the minimal part. If you don't want to change here, if you don't want to change the PLO and PLO is fine, but you have to change this one. The CLO and course content, and then you have to adjust the methods of course delivery. Kalau masih ngam, dia pa yang tertukar. And then you need to refine the method of assessment. Jadi dalam kamu punya reporting nanti, dalam kamu punya course design nanti, you have to say this is VB assessment, okay, and then this is ESD assessment. Ya, ada soalan. If my program has identified 4 courses program that map to each PLO. I don't think that's going to be enough to Akela. Probably we cannot double count it. Same goes to ESD competency. Ya, semua sama itu. Dr. Chi. Way to mention. In the CLO. Pernah sebut itu. Sometimes it doesn't really look like the ESD and so on, NEP. Then you have to, that's why you have to have that mapping between courses to ESD competency, mapping of courses to NEP competency. Siapa lagi? This means contoh satu kursus ada 3 CLO. Salah satu CLO mesti mapping to ESD. Iya, tapi bukan semua kursus. Bukan semua kursus, kecuali yang ada yang cognitive skill lah, makanya banyak yang kena. But like ada macam ini nah. Macam ini. Let's say for example, like personal skill, bukan semua kursus kan yang map kepada personal skill. So only go look for courses that personal skill tu yang map kepada personal skill and look for whether it is mapped to responsible and capable of achieving high level personal being. Macam itulah. Alright, is there any new course information file table for this? And that's so you said that, thank you for reminding me. Probably, yeah, it will capture. We have to have a new one to capture all this ESD and SDG. Yeah, betul. You have to refer back the original PLO. Okay, and then for refining the methods, you have to assess. You have to give the marks. Which part is ESD, which part is NEP. So as you said, as you already sense that, you have to prepare PLO versus SDG matrix. Okay, that one. And then you have to prepare PLO versus ESD competency. And then we have to prepare, this is for course level, program level. The head of program have to prepare. And then prepare PLOs versus NEP. And then you have to prepare, you have to be prepared to monitor all program attainment on SDG, ASD, and NEP. All right, and then the 11th one, probably in your faculty, you have to have some sort of professional development on how to teach according to value-based education, and also how to teach on ASD delivery. This one, you can do your own, and this will be some additional tasks for PPKA to provide that professional development. For mapping, is there any format? Do we have to mention the course name? I think the original mapping, I think we just, I'm not sure whether my deputy is here. No. Romi, ada kau sini? Zaimi, adakah? Tidak apalah si Amir lah. Amir, kau nanti kasih ingat si apa? Amir, try to remind Rumi and me also to provide a template for this. Okay, but as you may sense, it will going to have a major or not major. What is the better word is semakan beramai-ramai. Can we have the mapping template? We don't have yet. We will give you, and we will invite you for the review. Okay, and then the 12th one. I hope a lot of you are had the program. As mentioned in the MQF, it says that we have the flexible learning pathway. So one of indication of having this FLP is to have APMC and OMUC and also credit transfer system into our program. Having said that, I think it is already high time now. Every program have to have at least one APMC course that will recognize students transfer credit. Okay, so it will going to ask you later, MQA, what FLP you have embedded or have you practiced in your program. So one of it is through APMC, the flexibility there. Or probably you have a MOOC there. Jadi kamu kena ada itu. You have to have that NEP, you have to have that ASD, SDG. Jangan marah saya, bukan saya punya kerja. FLP, oke. So ada 4 sekarang lah. Right? So we have to have 4 things in your mind now. Iya, Ramlah. Itulah yang saya kasih buat kau di sini nih, supaya kamu tidak payahlah buat benda itu ulang-ulang. Kamu kita balik-balik untuk benda yang berlainan saja. Kalau cognitive skill nih, kamu just make sure yang cognitive skill yang kamu ajar dalam kursus itu berkaitan system thinking ataupun anticipatory ataupun critical thinking. Ya, nggak payah dibuat baru. Yang penting sekarang you know how to report that one. Mapping saja ya, but mau kasih tahu juga lah yang ini nih ESD competency. So ini yang kami kira. So 98% student kami sudah mencapai ESD in term of system thinking. Begitu itu yang dia mau tuh. Sebagai contoh, normatif kami ada ajar di 3 kursus, jadi lebih kurang 99,9% pelajar sudah mencapai normative skill. Macam itu. Oke? Ataupun saya tidak mau sebut, nantilah saya sebut kalau ada cara, ada satu cara lagi lah. Tapi itu melibatkan benda lain lah. Ya. So APMC untuk kamu punya program at least ada satu lah, supaya kamu punya program itu boleh dikatakan ada pembelajaran fleksibel diajarkan. Adakah perlu masukkan keyword kompetensi dalam CLO? Keyword, oke, kejap apa? Kejap. Dia bilang tunggu sekejap. Dia nyanyi itu hari. Ini. Kamu nampak nih? Can you see this? Boleh? Oke, kamu nampak nih kan? Ini adalah dokumen daripada ini barang, yaitu Education for Sustainable Development Guidance. Yang ini saya baru kasih masuk dalam CAED punya repository. Jadi kamu tunggu sini di bawah. Ini di bawah, itu dalam bawah lah pula, sorry. Ini kamu pergi tengok bawah ini, ini nah. Contoh dia lah kan. Bukan. Itulah itu. Ini nah. This one. This one, yeah. Okay, we go here. A student with system thinking competency can. So ini dia punya kompetensi, dia sebut. Oke. Kamu tinggallah di sini, lihat nih.
Kamu penuhkan kawasan sini boleh kah? Sini saja, bukannya kamu ramai pun dalam 50 orang saja. Jadi jangan duduk sini je lah. Jangan duduk sini lah berkumpul.
Oke. Contoh sini kan, system thinking kan. Jadi kamu boleh tengoklah di sini sama ada dan knowledge, skill ataupun attributes and values. Jadi kamu tengok di sini, dia ada learning outcomes. Bukan maksud saya kamu ambil semua ini, enggak lah Pak. Contoh dia mana yang sesuai dengan kamu punya konteks. For example, describe relationship between environmental, social, economic system at scale from local to global level. Yang ini barangkali berkaitan, sini ada ekonomik kan, kali di FPF lah. So for example, think systematically in terms of recognizing connection, interaction between factors and understand that action often have multiple consequences. Jadi yang ini dicakap sana attributes or values. Jadi ini values. Sini skill. Yang bagusnya dia sudah bagi learning outcomes. Kamu pilih mana yang bersesuaian. I don't want to dictate here. Kamu mesti ambil ini, no lah. I don't know how your program, the nature of your program. So these are few options that is related to a few option of learning outcome that's related to thinking, system thinking. And then here, dia bagi banyak nih. A student with anticipatory thinking competence can, tengoklah sana, few things that they can dia ada di sini. So you can pick and adapt into your CLO. Alright, boleh ya, Dr. Chin? Sini pun ada. So kita tidak sakit-sakit kepala. Oke, ya boleh. Kalau tengok pun tidak juga betul-betul kan. So you can, is either you don't want or you want, but you have to show, or you have to put the mapping, which course map to what ASD competency. Supaya kamu boleh monitor dia punya achievement or attempt. Alright. Any more question? Jadi kamu dapatkan tadi? Okay. So, jadi kita ada sudah semua nih. Kamu ada SDG, ESD, NEP. Kamu ada FLP. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So, itu ada 4. Ada apa-apa lagi yang mau tanya? Kalau tidak, I can stop now. Iya, kena tambah. Before ataupun on next year, 2026. Ada sudah kita punya new mapping. Okay, so go back to your program later on. So, which one kamu mau pergi nih? Kamu mau pergi tukar ini refining PO ke PLO, kamu pergi refine saja CLO. So, my feeling or my personal view, we just refine on the CLO mappings and so on. Okay, then all the semakan probably one go to GKPA. After GKPA, we stop at Senate level. Alright, so itu. Any more question? Kalau tidak, I will give you the last thing that you need to take into consideration in terms of the program review. Karena buat semakan curriculum pada tahun ini boleh buat two in one. Maksud apa itu? Two in one. Satu semakan biasa plus MQF. Semakan biasa tuh macam mana? Kalau program kena buat semakan sudah pada tahun. Oh, kalau kamu sudah buat semakan itu selaras juga dengan MQF 2024 itu. Kalau tidak, kamu buat 2 kali kerja.
Dr. Dennis, saya ada soalan.
Ya.
Liana daripada FSMP. Selepas mendengar talk ni, saya boleh simpulkan kita perlu buat semakan kurikulum mula kan? Jadi, adakah semakan kurikulum ni dibuat di peringkat UMS dan akan adakah perkeliling rasmi di peringkat PPKA juga berkenaan semua yang baru dikongsikan ini?
Perkeliling. Biasanya itulah sebab kami tidak mau redundant buat apa? Buat
advisory note.
Advisory note, yes, we will produce that. Tapi arahan itu mungkin saya akan tanya ke NCA macam mana. Kalau dia cakap perlu, so NCA sendiri akan buat akan bagi arahan lah perkeliling.
Okay, correct. Thank you.
Ya, saya paham ya kamu mau puncak kuasa. Chief Things, ya boleh. Nanti saya bagi itu dalam apa saya letak dalam apa tuh dalam SharePoint. Oke. Jadi oleh karena kita ada apa ini semakan, jadi satu lagi benda yang ini menjadi masalah kita. So, and one more thing. So, all academic programs are required by the MOE to have a core course or courses that is teaching students about AI application. Jadi maksudnya dalam semakan kamu tuh you have to identify which course that's going to teach about AI. Not just about AI, they mesti about how to use AI in their work or in their future work lah, begitu. Oke, jadi ada 5. Cukup lah itu, ada 5 jari kamu kan, terus kamu ingatlah. Kamu ingat NEP, SDG, ESD, FLP, dan juga AI. Oke, so tapi apa yang saya mau cakap sini, yang 4 ini yang penting sebab dia daripada MQF. Untuk AI, ini adalah MOHI punya agenda. Try to fulfill dia juga lah. By sama juga, you don't have to create a course, but you embed in your course. Contohnya, kamu ada kursus itu, salah satu dia punya topik itu menggunakan AI. Itu saja. Jangan kamu pergi terlampau jauh lah untuk AI ini. Sampai kamu ubah banyak elektif di sana untuk AI. Dia tidak mau elektif, dia mau course. Oke, itu sahaja. Thank you for spending your time with this MQF 2024.